guitar, baby. Well, there's where your guitar came from, and this is your guitar before we started working on it. It's a nice little Epiphone Les Paul. It's just got the single pickup. Not much to it. Black pick guard, single humbucker. It's got a little Quan bridge on it there. Nice little thing. It's just got the regular old tuners on it. But yeah, it's just a black Les Paul Jr. Just like that. Nice little guitar to start with. And well, let's take it over to the bench and give it the good old 22-point MOJOFIcation process. That's a custom process that we do to every single guitar to turn them into a contender, to make them somebody. So let's head over to the bench. Okay, well here we are over at the bench, and we're going to get started on the 22-point MOJOFIcation process. Okay, now step number 1 is going to be to just basically take this guitar apart, disassemble, inspect it, make sure that see if there's anything that looks odd, it's broken, anything you notice that's not right, make a note of it so that you can go back and take care of it later. But basically, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to take it apart. We're going to break it down right down to all its individual parts. Yep, so let's go do that. Well, there you have it, all disassembled. That a whole lot of parts to it, is there? Nope, and we didn't find anything that was wrong with it or anything like that. We just found a little, I found a little mark in the paint on the headstock. That's all, just a little bit. And everything else looked real nice. So that's step number 1, inspection and disassembly. Okay, here we are on to step number 2. And that is, we're going to clean the body. We're going to buff the body, or we're going to polish the body out. And then we're going to buff it with the pad. So let's do that right there. First step, get it cleaned up. So we're going to take some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol on a rag. We're going to clean it all off. Alright, and the next thing we do is we take a little bit of rubbing compound here, and we're going to take this rubbing compound, we're going to rub out all the little scratches and stuff on the front and the back. Okay, now that we got it all hand buffed out with the rubbing compound, we're going to take a little bit of this wax here, and we're going to buff it into this paint job. And boy, it's going to be shiny after this one. Let's see. And here we are giving the front a good polishing. Well, and there you have it. Step 2, buff, polish, clean. It's all done. Boy, she's shining like a brand new penny. Look at that, boy. Give that thing a real good shining and cleaning. All right, we got the headstock too. Got the headstock looking real nice, front and back, all nice and cleaned up. Now on to step 3. Now step 3 is shielding. And somebody has already shielded this on the inside here with some nice foil tape, and I've taken a look at it. It's nice and solid, all good and taken care of. And they did the back cavity too, so that all looks good. They got the back of the cover. They got the back of the control cover and everything like that, so that should be good. So she's all shielded up. On to step 4. Okay, well, on to step number 4. Clean and lubricate all of the control pots and the jack there. So we're going to zoom in just a little bit here. And let's zoom in a little bit more. All right. Is that too much? I think it is. widen out a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so what we're going to do now, this guitar has the small dime-sized pots on it, and I'm not going to mess around with those because they work just fine, and they're going to match up with the pickup and everything like that. And we want to keep the original sound to it, but with all the other things that we're going to do to it, what kind of pot's in there isn't really going to matter. So we're just going to make sure we have good clean pots. So we're just going to clean them up. A little squirt. A little squirt in there. Turn them back and forth. Get them real nice and clean. Okay, on to step number 5, and that is clean and lube and inspect all the tuners. Now, these tuners seem to work just fine when they were, when we had the guitar, when we tried it out ahead of time. But what we want to do is we want to go through and see these right here, they have the little caps that come right off the back there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to make sure that this is all nice and tight right there. That screw right there is nice and tight. Okay. We're going to check the action on and make sure that they move back and forth real good. And then we're going to get a little bit of lubricant. And we're going to put just a little bit of grease in there. Just a little bit. I'll get a little bit on the end of my finger here. We're going to put just a little bit right in there like that. Oh, can you see that? There we go. There we go. We're going to put just a little bit of grease right in there on them gears right there. Okay. And then we're going to turn this around a little bit. And see, now we got that all lubed up real nice in there. No problem. And we're going to go ahead and do that to all of them. Okay, we're on to step 6, which is clean the bridge and saddle and tailpiece and pickup and stuff like that. So we don't have to do that because, well, we have a brand new Leo Quan bridge. Real nice. It's all brand new. And we have the brand new locking posts for it. See these posts right here, they have a little screw on the top right there, and you can unscrew it and it will lock right down on top of the bridge just like this. Real nice and tight. Just like that, right, all the way in there nice and tight. You gotta adjust it though. So on to the next step. Okay, we're on to step number 7, which is clean the neck and level the frets. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get a little bit of good old rubbing alcohol. We'll put it on a rag here. Put a little rubbing alcohol on a rag. And we're just going to go over this whole neck and give it a nice wipe down. What we're trying to do is get all the nasty stuff off the fretboard so that when we go to clean it and do all the work on this thing, we're not grinding old dirt into it. So we're going to try to get all that stuff nice and clean and get all the grease and oil, fingerprints and all that other kind of junk off there. And believe me, they'll have a lot of stuff in there. Alright, now we're going to level the fretboard. So we're going to take our straight edge right here. It's nice and flat across there. We're going to set it right across this neck right here. See, we get that in the shot. And we're going to take our feeler gauge. Remember our little floppy feeler gauge, and we're just going to start going underneath here. And we're going to see where it's low. If it's sticking through. And you can see it's sticking through. It's going through in the middle, not on the ends. So that means that we got to tighten up the truss rod a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. We're going to tighten this all up. And we're going to get it so that this feeler gauge doesn't go under any of these frets here. Okay. Well, we adjusted the truss rod down here. Okay, we gave it about a half a turn. And we got this all nice and level now. See, we're hitting right there, hitting right there, hitting right there, hitting in the middle, and hitting on all the ends. So we're doing good. On to the next step. All right, we're sanding out, leveling out this fretboard here. We got it all nice and level. We marked the frets with black marker, and now we're just taking all that black marker off. We're making sure that we take this down to where we got it all off. And we had a little bit left right in there, and it looks like we got all that off there. So we're good. Nice and level. On to the next step. Okay, we're on to the next step, and that is step number 8, where we crown the frets. Now we have our fret crowning tool right here, and basically when we leveled the frets, we got them nice and level, but they're too flat across the top now. Now we have to put a nice little point on the top for the string to ride along. So we're just going to take this fret tool and we're basically just going to go over the fret until it feels nice and smooth. Okay? And we're just going to do that on all the frets. Alright, now that we've taken the crowning tool and we've gotten all the frets all nice and crowned, we're going to move on to the next step, which is sanding and polishing. So we're going to start with a nice light sandpaper, and we're going to go over this just a little bit, and we're going to make sure that it's get it real nice and polished. Alright, now we're just taking a little bit of 600 and just sort of going over it, wrapping it around our finger and going over it like this. We just kind of smooth things out just a little bit. Go over them just a little bit like that there. And while we're in there sanding off the frets, we also give the fretboard a little bit of love too. You see, you're going to be bending the strings this way right here, so we want this fretboard to be nice and smooth too. So we're going to kind of hit the fretboard as we're hitting the frets at the same time. Alright, so now we're going to switch over to a piece of 1500, and we're going to do basically the same thing. We're going to smooth out this fretboard, and we're going to hit these frets just one more time with a little bit of real smooth sandpaper. Alright, we're on to the next step, which is step number 9. We're going to polish the frets. We're going to get them real nice and shiny. We're going to put a little chrome polish on them, get them real nice. Alrighty, we got the frets all polished up with the chrome polish. Now we're just giving it a nice wipe down with some rubbing alcohol. You know, we use the rubbing alcohol because it doesn't soak into the wood and it dries real fast, and it's good at cutting all the grease and anything. And what we're trying to do now is get all that polish off there so that it's nice and clean. We're not going to rub it into the thing. And we'll give that a nice little wipe down. Look how nice and shiny that is now. Ooh boy. Okay, now we're on to step number 10, which is to roll the edges. And what we want to do is we want to just sort of roll that edge over so that it's nice and smooth. There's a nice little transition right there. And we're just going to use this little fret rocker right here, this height gauge here, and it's just because it's got a nice little sharp edge on it. And what we're going to do is it's kind of a scraper, and we're just going to sort of take that edge and just sort of scrape it over like that. Real nice and easy like. Just going to sort of roll that over just a little. And we're just trying to sort of, just real nice and easy. We're not really putting any pressure on that. We're just sort of smoothing out the edge with it. And you'll feel it when it gets smooth. And that's what we do to the whole fretboard, all the way up and down both sides. Alright, now we got the fret, or the fingerboard all rolled, the edge all rolled real nice. Now we're going to move on to the fret ends. Now we're going to take these fret ends right here, and we're just going to smooth them over just a little bit with the file. And that shouldn't take us too long at all, and it won't be too tough. We'll just get our files here, and take this little file right here, and we'll just kind of go right over those edges right there, real nice and easy. We'll just kind of go just like this right here. You can see right here. We're just going to sort of roll it over a little bit. You just want that to be nice and smooth, and we're going to do that to the whole thing. Alright, we got all the fret ends done. You see they look real nice, and we checked them with the magnifying glass so that we'd look to make sure they're all looking real nice and smooth and everything. Now the next step for us just is we'll smooth the sides and the back of the neck, and we'll make sure that everything is nice, and then we'll give it a nice inspection. Okay, we're on to step number 12. That is smooth the sides and the back of the neck, so everything is that's a final smooth down. What we're going to do is we're going to take our sanding beam here. We're just going to kind of run it down the edge of this neck right here, just sort of like that right there, just over the edge. We're going to just kind of make sure everything is real smooth, and we're going by feel here. We want it to feel smooth all the way across. If it feels smooth, then we're doing a good job. Then it's smooth when it's done. We just get that right there, right on the side there. Then we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do the back. We're going to take this little piece of Scotch-Brite pad here, and we're just going to put it in our hand like that, and we're just going to go over the edge like this. We're just going to kind of go up and down this. And we're wrapping our hand around there. We're getting the edge right up here, getting this edge real good. As you can see, maybe we'll just widen this shot out a little bit. There we go. We're getting the edge, getting the back. We're not getting too aggressive, And then what we're going to do, we're going to take that same piece of Scotch-Brite and we're just going to kind of go over the front of this just a little bit. And we're not putting any pressure on it, we're just kind of going over it a little bit just to kind of give it a final smooth down before we go ahead and polish it, because that's going to be the next step, is to put some oil on this and get it all, look at that, nice and smooth. Oh yeah. And what we'll do now is just run our hands over the edge here. Right, that feels nice and smooth. Okay, on to the next step. Okay, we are on to step number 13, and that is to oil the fretboard. So we're going to get out our Miracle coconut oil here. There's a little coconut oil, love coconut oil. Does a real good job. And we're just going to smear a little bit of this on the fretboard, up and down, right there. Don't need a whole lot. I like coconut oil because it soaks in, but it doesn't soak in too much. Looks real good. Okay, and then we're just going to take a piece of rag and rub that around in there a little bit. See, right now it's getting nice and shiny, ain't it? Yeah, buddy. That coconut oil does a real good job. Okay, now we got a nice little layer of coconut oil on it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to buff it out. Alright, now that we got some coconut oil in this and we got it hydrated, we're going to seal that all in with a little bit of this carnauba wax. Because, you know, all kinds of wood like wax, so we're going to put a little bit of that on there and then we're going to buff it out. Alright, we went ahead and we put some wax on there and we let it dry to a haze. And now we're going to take our buffing wheel, we're going to buff out this whole neck. That. See, can you see the difference? It's getting nice and shiny. We're going to go ahead and do that to the whole neck, front and back. Alright, there you have it. We gave it a nice polishing with the buffing wheel. Look how nice that turned out. Those nice shiny frets, nice glossy fretboard. And I'll tell you one thing, that is so smooth. When you go to bend a string over the top of that, oh my, it's going to be just so smooth. And then we're just going to kind of go over it with our hand here. Make sure that everything is looking real nice and feeling nice. And you know, I don't feel anything. It just feels nice and smooth all the way up and down. So that's how you get you know, that's the Mojo shop process on the neck right there. You know, we go from pawn shop to custom shop, you know. That's Mojo shop. We make it look good. We make it play good. Make it feel good. And you're the proud owner. Look how shiny that is, man. Think that's going to play nice and fast and smooth for you? Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, on to the next step, which I think is we're going to start putting her back together again because we got everything done. We're going to put her back together, make sure it's sweet. Yeah. All right, here we are at step 15, and that is the reassemble. We got everything all buffed and polished out real nice. Everything's looking real shiny. Look at that. Whoo! Got the headstock looking real nice, and the fretboard has all been done. Everything's been, you know, polished and leveled, and it's, you know, everything known to man's been done to this neck here. So it's all ready to go. Now all we gotta do is reassemble it. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? Well, here we have it. We have it all assembled here. Now we bought a new bridge for it, but the post holes were way too small. So we went with the old bridge. This is an original 1980s Leo Kwan badass bridge right here. So this came off of an old guitar that I had purchased. In fact, it came off of Stella, the inspiration for this channel. So really, this has got some age to it, and it's got some mojo to it. So it's a, you know. Anyway, we got this right on here. We got us a brand new little chrome plated pickup ring. We have a brand new pick guard and two brand new knobs on here, and we've given it a nice shine. We went over it. We got everything looking real nice. Got the headstock all looking real nice and everything like that. And we're ready to go ahead to move on to step number 16, which is put the strings on. So let's move on. All right, here we are at stage 16, or step 16 I should say, and here we got a nice little pack of Ernie Ball 9 through 42 Super Slinkies. We're gonna go ahead and throw them on there. Now with this bridge here, see the strings go through the bottom here. They go through the bottom, right through there, and then they wrap around. It's a wrap around bridge. And I'll tell you one thing, it's got a nice solid connection to the body down here, and man, it's gonna resonate really good. So let's go ahead and throw some strings on it. Well, we got some strings on her. Man, she sure is looking nice. Look at that beauty, she's shining. Nice strings all the way through. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these brand new strings that we got here and we're gonna stretch them. And what I mean is we're just gonna kind of take them in our hands just like this. We're just gonna give them a little tug. And what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and tune them up just right. We're gonna tune them up, and then we'll give them a stretch. Give them a good stretch, and then we'll tune them up again, and we'll stretch them, and we'll tune them, and we'll stretch them, and we'll tune them and stretch them until we stretch them, and it doesn't make any difference in the tuning. It still stays tuned. That's when you know you got all the stretch out of your strings, and that's one of the most important things you can do for your tuning is a good, proper stretching. That's one of the things. So that is number 16 right there. Yeah, string it up and give it a stretch. Well, all right, now that we've given the strings a good stretching and stuff like that, now we're going to set the string height right here. And we're going to set it to just a little tiny less bit than 2 millimeters right there. So we'll be, 2 millimeters. And then we're going to set it at about 1.5 on the low E string. So we'll be right back after we do that. All right, on to step number 18. We're getting close to the end. Step number 18 is to radius the saddle here. We want to make sure that this right here, the strings are the same radius as the fretboard, so that way when you strum, everything's nice and smooth. And we're just going to take our feeler gauge here, our little paper thin feeler gauge, and our 14-inch radius tool here, and we're just going to kind of see how that goes. Yep, sits right there. Yep, everything looks just fine on that. Yep. So we radius this so it makes sure that that is nice and smooth when you pick across it. All right, we're here at step number 19, and what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the slots in the nut right here so that each one of these notes plays perfectly in tune up and down the fretboard. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to get the string tuned up just perfectly, then we're going to play this first couple of notes here. And if they play perfectly in tune with the tuner, then we're good, it's at the right height. But if it plays a little bit sharp or a little bit flat, then we have to cut the nut slot down just a little bit. And we just cut it down, we take the string out, we cut it down a little bit with our little nut slot file, and then we'll put it back in there and we'll test it again. And when the note plays perfectly in tune for the first three frets here, then we move on to the next string. And we do that to all 6 strings until they play perfectly in tune. All right, we're on to step number 20, and that's to set the intonation. And what we want, or what we're trying to do here with the intonation is we're trying to get it to be exactly the same note open as it is at the 12th fret, because that's the octave. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this string tuned up just perfectly, and we're going to play this note right here at the 12th octave. And if it's sharp, then we're going to adjust the saddle down here so that it makes it so that it's not sharp anymore. Or if it's flat, we'll adjust it there too. So we're going to go through all these and we're going to set the intonation so that it plays perfectly in tune at the 12th fret. Now, after we get that done, we're going to check all the notes up and down the fretboard to be in tune. And they should all be perfectly in tune. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And if they aren't, then we will make sure that they all are. That is from pawn shop to custom shop. That's Mojo Shop. All right, we're on to step number 22. We are on the home stretch. Only one more stretch after, or only one more step after this. And the last thing we got to do to this guitar before we do the final inspection, which is number 22, we have to go and set the string height, or have to set the pickup height. So what we do is we press down on the string way down here at the last fret, and I use this is a 2 millimeter piece of wooden popsicle stick, and I just stick that in between there, and I can see that the pickup is way low, so we're going to raise it up. And we will do that on both sides. We will get the other side just a little bit tight, and this side just a little bit loose for the popsicle stick, and that'll put us right at about 2 and 1.75. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then it's going to be on to the next and very last step. Well, here we are, folks. We did everything that we could possibly do to it. It's fully mojofied. It's even got the Mojo Shop case. It's looking real good. Parked in front of the sign. Oh yeah, there we go. Are you guys ready to see what this thing looks like? Are you ready to, you know, we gave it a good play. We tried it over. Made sure everything was doing just fine on it, and man, it has turned out real nice. Are you guys ready to see it? Okay, tell you what, let's get this case flipped over. Okay, well there she is in the case. Are you guys ready? Let's open her up. There's one. There's two. There's three. And we'll get the one around the back. There we go. Are you ready? Here we go. Can I get a drum roll, please? Ooh, look at you. You know, it sure is beautiful. Well, look at the way the light sparkles off of it. It is definitely, look at that shine on there. Do you think that fretboard plays nice and smooth? Yeah, you'd be right if you thought so. Look at that. Looking good. Looking good. Oh yeah. But wait, there's more. Alright, here you have it in all its glory. The full package, baby. Right here we go. We got the t-shirt. They're looking real good. You get it in any color, any size you need it. You get the custom Mojo Shop guitar strap. It is a one of a kind. And also, you know, if somebody doubts that, hey, is this real? I mean, what's Mojo Shop? Well, hey, you got a certificate of authenticity right here. Mojo Shop right there. We're calling it Blackie. And it's number 11. Signed right down there. There's the date. And the little seal down the corner, making sure it's an official. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Gotta get back here. Look how nice she's looking. And that's the stuff you get. Now, if you don't want a t-shirt, you can also have a hat. You know, the hats are looking real good. You know, there's one of the hats right off my head. Looking good. You get a hat, get a t-shirt, whatever you want. But I'll tell you one thing. Oh, you also get a video with this, right? Ain't that right? Yeah, you get the video that you just watched. So here you go. Nobody else has a video. Does you know anybody else's guitar that has a video? It comes like custom shop stuff. You know? Only Mojo Shop guitar. Tell you what, how about we give this thing a listen? See what it sounds like. If it looks, I mean, if it sounds as good as it looks, yeah, that'd be pretty great. Well, here she is. She's looking good. How's she sound? I think she's gonna sound pretty good too. Let's see. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, don't it? Hear every note ring out nice and clean and clear. Let's see, let's turn that tone down a little bit. full control of the tone. When you only have a single pickup, you're going to need that. And you know, there's one thing that we didn't mention in the video is that we radiused the post in the pickup. Right there. These posts right here. We radiused those so that they're right exactly the same distance away from the strings. They're all perfect right across the It's got a real nice bright sound to it. Listen to that tone. Sounds good. Nice and clean and clear. Sure, with a little distortion. What do you say? Yeah, this guitar definitely is a rocker. And you know, the thing about it is that, you know, you already know this, because if this is your guitar and this is your video, you already know this thing rocks. But you know what? If you'd like to have your guitar sound like this, give us a line right down here. You know our email, mojoshopguitar@gmail.com. That's all you gotta do is drop us a line, say you'd like to get your guitar mojofied. We're more than happy to hook you up so that your stuff sounds just like that. And you can get a Mojo Shop sticker on the back of your guitar. Maybe one that has a serial number on it, because that means it's the original with everything. And you know, you see this thing? It has the case, has the shirt, has the strap, has everything going for it. You know what? It's a contender, and that's what we started out to do, making a contender. You know, we took this thing from the pawn shop to the custom shop. You know, that's what Mojo Shop does. So we're going to say adios for now from Mojo Shop Guitar. Baby. Thank you for watching Mojo Shop Guitar. Please like,